Now here we can see that what are the public key applications. So here we classified the public key applications in three categories. The one is the encryption or decryption. So by using the encryption and again decryption, we can provide the secrecy to the message. The second category is the digital signatures. So the digital signatures are used to provide authentication. Third category, key exchange for the session keys. So some algorithms are suitable for all uses and others are specific to one. While learning, we need to keep in mind which algorithms are used for all the purposes and which one are the specific to one only. Here we can see that the row wise and again the column wise. First of all, we can see that what are the in the column. The first column is about the algorithm. The second column is about encryption and again for the decryption. Third column is about digital signature and again fourth column is about key exchange. Now the first algorithm is about RSA. RSA is used for encryption and decryption. Also it is used for the digital signature and for the key exchange also. The elliptic curve is also used for encryption, decryption, digital signature and key exchange. Now third algorithm, Diffie-Hellman. So this algorithm is not used for encryption and decryption, not for digital signature, and this algorithm is used for only key exchange. Now DSS, so digital signature standard. This is not for encryption and decryption. This is used for digital signature and not for key exchange. Now you can see that what are the public key requirements. So the public key requirements are that, so it is basically it relies on two keys where, so it is computationally infeasible to find decryption key knowing only algorithm and encryption key. The second, it is computationally easy to encrypt or decrypt messages when the relevant encryption decryption key is known. Either of the two related keys can be used for encryption with the other used for decryption for some algorithms. So these are formidable requirements which only a few algorithms have satisfied. So this is about the public key requirements, and it need a trapdoor one-way function. The one-way function has the y is equal to f of x, it is easy, and x is equal to f inverse of y is infeasible. The trapdoor one-way function has, it is easy if k and x are known, it is easy if k and y are known, it is infeasible if y known but k not known. A practical public key scheme depends on a suitable trapdoor one-way function. So what are the security of public key schemes here? So like private key schemes, brute force exhaustive search attack is always theoretically possible. So as we know about the brute force attack, we can apply the brute force attack on any algorithms. But the keys used are too larger, it is greater than 512 bits. So the security relies on a large enough difference in difficulty between easy and hard problems. And it is more generally the hard problem is known but is made hard enough to be impractical to break. It requires the use of very large numbers. Hence, is slow compared to private key schemes. Now here you can see that the RSA algorithm. So the RSA is called as the Rivest, Semir and Edelman. The three scientists have created this algorithm. So by Rivest, Semir and Edelman of MIT in 1977. This is the best known and widely used public key scheme, and it is based on exponentiation in a finite field over integers modulo a prime. The exponentiation takes big O log of n bracket cube operations easily, and it uses large integers, for example 1024 bits, and it's about security due to cost of factoring large numbers. Now here you can see that the key generation. This algorithm is basically divided into the three parts. One is the key generation, second encryption, and again third is about decryption. So while calculating this algorithm is very easy. So we need to select the P and Q. The condition is that the P and Q must be the prime numbers and the P is not equal to Q. Now we have to calculate, that is the N is equal to P into Q, and the calculate phi of N is equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1. And select the integer e, but integer e is such that the GCD of phi of n comma e equal to 1. So the range of 1 is the 1 is less than e is less than of phi of n. And we have to calculate the d. The d is nearly equal to e raised to minus 1 of mod of phi of n. So the set of public key is called as the pu is equal to e comma n, and the set of the private key is pr equal to d comma n. Now what is the equation for the encryption? So the plain text is capital M less than n. So the ciphertext we have to calculate, that is the C is equal to m raised to e mod n. The decryption, so the ciphertext, that is the C, and the plain text, that is m is equal to c raised to d mod n. So this is about one RSA example. So how we are going to select the prime number, that is the p equal to 17 and q equal to 11. So we have calculated the n, that is the p into q equal to 17 into 11 equal to 187. So we have calculated the phi of n, this is the 160. We have chosen the e equal to 7, and the value of d is equal to 23. The set of public key equal to 7 comma 187, and the set of secret key or private key equal to 23 comma 187. So after performing the encryption operation, the ciphertext equal to 11, and after performing the decryption, the original plain text equal to 88. Now how does the key generated in RSA? So the users of RSA must determine the two primes at random P and Q. So we need to calculate the n is equal to P into Q, and the exponents e comma d are inverses. So use inverse algorithm to compute the other. Now the RSA security. So possible approaches to attacking RSA are the brute force key search infeasible given size of numbers, mathematical attacks based on difficulty of computing phi of n by factoring modulus n, Timing attacks and running of decryption, chosen ciphertext attacks, given properties of RSA. Now the key management. The public key encryption helps to address the key distribution problems, the distribution of public keys, and the use of public key encryption to distribute secret keys. So basically, it has the four parts. One is the public announcement, second, publicly available directory, third, public key authority, fourth one, public key certificates. So we will see one by one. So what is the public announcement? The users distribute the public keys to recipients or broadcast to community at large. For example, they append the PGP keys to email messages or post to news groups or email lists. But it has the major weaknesses is forgery. Anyone can create a key claiming to be someone else and broadcast it. Until forgery is discovered, can masquerade as claimed user for authentication. So the diagram shows that how the user A and user B, they are going to announce their public keys. So the publicly available directory, so it can obtain the greater security by registering keys with a public directory. Directory must be trusted with properties that it contains the name, public key entries. Participant register securely with directory. Participants can replace key at any time. The directory is periodically published. Directory can be accessed electronically, still vulnerable to tampering or forgery.